Illustrator CC has just become far more friendly to web designers. As you create layouts and mockups inside the program, Illustrator is generating CSS and SVG code that you can then copy and bring into your favorite HTML editors. Now, they did set up several different workflows. You can copy and paste, or you can export CSS styles. Additionally, it works specifically with character styles and graphic styles. What I'd like to do in this movie is demonstrate a few of these features. For example, down here towards the bottom, we have a couple different boxes. Now, there's no need to create graphics for these boxes, as simple box model properties would be able to reproduce this look. If you come up to the window menu, under the window menu, you can choose CSS Properties. When you don't have anything selected, you won't see any CSS down here towards the bottom. However, as soon as I select one of these boxes, you'll notice the necessary code to generate this content in a web browser is generated. Now, before we look at this in any great detail, I do have to point out that this was named box in the Layers panel. If you don't give it a name, Illustrator won't know what to call the class, so it is important to come over to the Layers panel and make sure that your layers are named properly. With that being said, if we take a look at this class being created, it's missing some properties. For example, we don't have the width or the height. What we can do is come up to the top right-hand corner, and from here, we can choose Export Options. This will open up the Export Options dialog box, and you'll notice in the Position and Size section, we can choose Include Dimensions. We could also include absolute position, but in this case, we don't have to. Additionally, down here towards the bottom, you'll notice that Illustrator can create vendor-specific code for Webkit, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Opera. So as you can see, there's quite a few options in here to make this incredibly flexible. But if you come over here and click OK, you'll notice that the width and height properties have been added to this class. So like I said, there's a couple different ways that you can get this content out of Illustrator. One way is to come up to the top right-hand corner, and from here, you can choose Export Selected CSS. Down here towards the bottom, you also have a series of buttons that give you the ability to export or copy the selected code. You can also just come in here and copy it to your clipboard. Either way, once you copy it, you can come over to your HTML editor, and in this case, what I want to do is show you a design that I'm working on, which pretty much looks like what we were working with inside of Illustrator. But just to reproduce this box, I'm going to come over to this blank document. Inside this blank document, what I'm going to do is paste this CSS. Then I'm going to scroll down, and you'll notice I have a div element. And with this div element, I'm going to go ahead and add the class attribute and point it to that new box style I just added. Once you save the document, if you come over to the design view in this case, you will see that box being reproduced inside of Dreamweaver. And it just doesn't end there. If I come back to Illustrator, we have some additional content that we want to be able to copy. I'm just going to come over to this document called Character Styles. And here you can see that we have all sorts of styles set up. Now in this case, they happen to be character styles. If you go to the window menu, and all the way down towards the bottom of the window menu, you'll notice there's a type option, and from there you can choose character styles. Here you can see that we have all sorts of character styles set up. What I'm going to do in this case is select one of these character styles. I could select all of them, but in this case, we just need H2. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and again, I'll come back to Dreamweaver, and inside of Dreamweaver, I'll come into the code view, and I'll go ahead and paste that style. After pasting that style, I'm just going to go ahead and update this HTML tag to make sure that it is in fact an H2. Once it is an H2, we can come back to the design view, and here we can see the content is updated. Again, if we come back to Illustrator, we can see the H2 style up here inside the pasteboard area. If we wanted to copy all of the character styles and everything that we see inside the CSS properties, we would have that ability as well. In the top right-hand corner, we can go ahead and choose Export All, and this will create a separate style sheet file. So as you can see, Adobe has made several improvements when it comes to SVG and CSS workflows inside of Illustrator CC. Now you have the ability to save an enormous amount of time when working with web mockups.